Hello and welcome to Bulletin Bytes, your podcast from the Bulletin Box. I'm your host Thivo, and I'll be talking to different people from different walks of life about life. Today we are starting a new series called NutriTalk with Mansi. Now we'll be talking to Mansi Chaudhary. Mansi is a practicing nutritionist from Mumbai, India. She has about 11 years of very extensive experience in helping people with lifestyle diseases, with autoimmune conditions, and she follows a very holistic approach towards approaching these conditions. The last year, 2020, was a very, very difficult year for all of us. We were all in lockdown, we faced health challenges, and today we are going to talk to Mansi about how to bring back our health and how to step into 2021 with a better outlook towards health. So now let's welcome Mansi. Welcome, Mansi, to Bulletin Bytes, and thank you for joining us for this Nutri Talk with Mansi, where we are going to be talking about how to bring back our lives from the aftermath of 2020.
Thank you, Tivo. A big thank you to Bulletin Box, and it's a pleasure to be a part of your team and to share my knowledge on health and wellness with your viewers. Um, it's been a privilege to be invited here.
So, Mansi, as we were discussing, I was discussing earlier with our audience, is that last year was such a difficult year for all of us, and 2020 posed so many difficult challenges to all of us. In your experience as a practicing nutritionist, what kind of pillars of wellness you saw affected by the aftermath of 2020?
Well, Tivo, as we know, 2020 witnessed the biggest pandemic of the century, and it pandemic means it affects everyone worldwide on a very large scale. We've been tracking the counts of people affected, people died, and everything. So the main focus has completely shifted to that one word called immunity for the entire world. All countries, we've experienced nationwide lockdowns, and still there were attempts to control the pandemic. So everybody started focusing on immunity itself. And when you know lockdown happens, people stay at home for months, everything stopped, people started stopped stepping out of the house. So what has this resulted in? This has resulted in very erratic living patterns. There is no set routine now for eating food on time, for sleeping on time, for stepping out. The physical activity has gone down comparatively a lot in this last year. And this has also resulted in two paradoxical things. On one hand, people experience less, viral flus, less frequency of fevers and cold and cough because of all the efforts they were making to boost immunity.
That's right. We are all staying indoors, so we're keeping ourselves safe as well.
Yes, you were not eating outside food. You were not stepping out. So everything was home cooked, and constantly people were doing concoctions and things to boost their immunity. So day-to-day health issues, there is a decline. Even if you compare the statistics at the hospital visits and the number of patients doctors have been having, there is a good decline.
Right.
But when it comes to lifestyle diseases, that means things that are caused because of your irregular lifestyle, there has been a rise because sleep has been totally disturbed. So people don't have to get up and go to work in the morning. They are sleeping late. The media has bombarded us with a lot to see, and binge watching is on for everyone.
Right.
In fact, this is one thing that everyone wants to share on their social media, what all they have seen, and whether it was like a complete all episodes in one go kind of thing. So all the hormones that are secreted at night, during the wee hours in the morning, have been affected.
So let's take it one pillar at a time. So right now you're talking about our erratic sleep pattern.
Yes, let's talk about sleep first.
Right.
So when your sleep pattern gets affected, on one hand, we've been focusing on immunity, but we constantly forget that enough sleep boosts immunity. So you're constantly doing a thing which goes against immunity also. This can also lead to obesity, because when you have less sleep, when you're sleep deprived, you can have more fat accumulation. Your major hormones like thyroid stimulating hormone, your cortisol, which is a stress hormone, are all affected Your hormone which stimulates your appetite, leptin, is also affected if you have
So, so
epilepsy.
you're saying that your eating disorders are also linked with your sleep disorders.
Definitely, definitely,
Okay,
to a very large extent. So
right,
when I share a food plan with my clients, one of the guidelines says ensure at least 7 hours of restful sleep. But that
right,
7 hours does not mean you sleep at 4 a.m. and you get up at 11 a.m.
right,
It has to be more in sync with the sun's pattern, which we say is the circadian rhythm. So that has been observed. The second thing that has gone for a toss completely is your level of physical activity or exercise, because all gyms, all places where you were working out, all parks, all grounds were shut down and people
right.
were forced to stay indoors. So when you
We
step
are no
out there,
longer running after a bus to catch a bus.
yes, yes, or even at a train or a metro, anything. Or for that matter, even for people who used to go out for a jog in the park in the morning
That's
are
true. That's
deprived. Obviously, when there is less physical activity, chances of gaining weight go up,
right,
chances of all lifestyle diseases go up.
right,
So that factor counts. The third factor that has been affected in this thing is the mental well-being.
right.
Now, we all are attuned to a particular routine every day that you get up, you get ready for work, or even those who are staying at home,
Yeah,
they have a daily chores marked out. This
right,
thing to be done at this time. And
right,
not all family members in the house are usually used to staying with each other 24 hours a day, which
right,
happened in the lockdown because you used to meet a family member of say for 2 hours, 3 hours, or maximum 5 hours in a day if you're out for work or if they are out for work. So that led to a little healthier interaction. But when you are put together in a house, we say a big house with 8 members or 10 members for 24 hours a day, then you may have behavioral clashes.
right.
Also because
You're constantly on top of each other all the time.
yes, because we are not used to spending so much time together.
Yes,
And because of the uncertainty that the world is going through, because of the pandemic, there was a big economic blow to the country. Third thing was that the fear, the constant fear of the virus that I may get it. When you hear stories of someone you know having
right,
had it, maybe recovered, maybe not recovered, that was also playing a role because constantly the research was being done on the virus, not
right.
much was being known.
And you spoke about the hormone cortisol. That is a stress
Which is the
hormone.
stress hormone, which, if released in excess, can totally wreak havoc in your system. It can create new diseases. It can actually, lead to weight gain, and I would say even autoimmune conditions to a large extent.
Right, Mansi. So what we understand is that because of the pandemic, there are major pillars of wellness that were affected. So let me summarize, or why don't you summarize for our audience? So what are these four major pillars that you think were affected?
Sure, Tivo. I would say, first of all, the first pillar that has been affected is, of course, your eating pattern, which is your diet, because we didn't know when we get the chance to eat out the next time. People have been experimenting with a lot of junk despite making it at home. But yes, the
Yeah.
consumption of fried food, and because even the availability of stuff was rare, so people were sort of buying things in black and still making things that they want. I
Okay.
think there are statistics to prove that even sugar and refined flour purchases have gone up remarkably because people were
Everybody is
hoping
baking
for.
banana breads. Yes, so
Yes,
true.
yes. So I think anybody who's not into baking also tried banana bread at that time. People learn to bake during this time. So when you're at home, your portion control goes. You tend to eat more, maybe out of boredom, or maybe because you are with the family, and such a mood makes you eat more. So obviously, the hormone that regulates your appetite undergoes a change that would make you a little more unconscious of the calories that you're consuming. The second pillar that has taken a toll of 2020 is your sleep patterns because nobody has to get up and go for work. So people have been up till wee hours in the morning, sometimes maybe till 4, 5, 6 a.m. also. And when you don't sleep, when the body wants rest,
Right,
it goes into a disease mode, which means immunity is lower.
right,
You're more prone to catching diseases. You're more prone to fat accumulation. You're more prone to all the lifestyle diseases like diabetes, like irregular thyroid, like high blood pressure. All of these can happen.
right.
The third factor that we've observed is a change in mental behavior because
Yeah.
that's the reason now so many psychologists and mental well-being experts are in demand
Hmm.
because the world was going through a major uncertainty which was affecting everyone's
Right,
psyche,
right.
and people were not used to spending the time together. Nobody was used to spending 24 hours indoors with each other.
Right.
That has resulted to a change in equations within the family.
True.
Some people have gotten closer, some people have gone farther apart.
Yeah.
And plus, because there has been an economic blow, for all those who were
Stress.
employed, who
Yeah.
were employed or in a job, even that anxiety has contributed to a large extent to the mental well-being right now. So this is the third part, and the fourth part is, of course, because we were all locked inside our homes, because countries were experiencing lockdown. The physical activity has declined. The gyms were shut down. Initially, I think for the first 2 months, we were not even stepping outdoors for exercise,
Not at
purely
all.
out of fear for the
Right.
virus. It's
Right.
recently that things have opened up. So that has also resulted in every other count. You do
Right.
not secrete the feel good hormones that you would secrete while working out. So
Right.
again, mental well-being is affected.
Right. And we are not tired because we are not physically tired, so we
That
are not
leads to you
sleeping
not
well.
sleeping on time
And
also.
it's
So
like a
everything is
vicious cycle.
interrelated. Yes,
Right.
it's a vicious cycle, and we need to make changes to break this vicious cycle, or else you may be continuing with that trend, because
Right.
it takes as little as 40 days to create a habit. Now you've
Right.
created a bad habit for yourself, and you have to break that habit with 40 days of discipline
Right.
finally.
So Mansi, what would you suggest, and how can we go back to being normal, if that is, the new normal will be, without really stressing ourselves too much? Because I know for myself as well, as somebody who's working in IT and who has a very active social life, I really don't want to stress myself into going to a therapist maybe, or going to a sleep pattern expert and seek out opinions. So, in your experience, what are small changes we can bring into our lives to bring back our lives?
You can do a lot, and you can fix all of these issues purely by yourself.
Yeah.
So we'll take up these factors one by one in the
Yes,
same
let's
order
do
that
that.
we discussed them. So, firstly, coming about diet.
Right.
Now we know that it's a well-known fact that you need to do zinc, you need to do vitamin D, vitamin C. There was a time when vitamin C and zinc were out of stock because everybody wanted to take those to boost immunity.
Right.
Now that you have built up your immunity, remember
Hmm.
when the pandemic struck, people were low on immunity, so it was very important to take the concoctions and everything. But
Right.
now that you have raised your immunity, say from hair to hair, in
Right.
the 8 months by drinking concoctions and supplementing yourself. So now what you need to focus on is ensuring just a multivitamin every day, going
Right.
back to eating a well balanced diet, cutting
Right.
down on all the excess sugar, refined flour, and high fat consumption that has happened. So, which means that we need to go back to our fruits, vegetables, nuts, pulses, limited amount of carbohydrate in the form of grains. Ensure that you're well hydrated.
Hmm.
Continue working on your immunity, but don't overdo it, because all the herbs that are immunity boosting can be a little heaty for the body. So you have to
Right.
also look at the season you are in.
So we need to check ourselves as to how our body is responding to that.
Yes, and the best way to boost immunity has always been eating local and seasonal. So stop reaching out for imported fruits and vegetables, things that don't belong to your geographical area and are not in season.
Right.
Stick with
I
what is
think
in
go
season.
local has been one of the major trends that has
Yes,
happened in the
yes.
last few weeks. So,
In fact, yesterday I read an article which was talking about the food trends that are going to be in 2021. And the first thing was like, not only local, there is something known as hyper local. It's going to be in vogue. That means something which is available within 28 kilometers of where you stay.
okay. Okay. So
Because your
that
cuisines change every 20 kilometers, the way languages change, foods also change. So
that's
you
so
should
true.
actually stick to what is good around you, because
Hmm.
that is fresh.
Right. So, okay. So, when it comes to food habits, we need to be more seasonal in our food habits and make amends when it comes to sugar and refined foods.
I think one major thing is, besides knowing what to eat, it's
Hmm.
very important to eat on time. You know what to eat in a day, but you cannot be eating, say, at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.
So that
Something,
brings me to the next question, because that is
yes,
linked to my sleeping patterns habit, which is the second pillar. Because, okay, as a 30-something-year-old person, and we all know that, the lifestyle changes have already happened. We are hooked onto our mobile devices, watching one series after the other, right? So we are up till 1 in the morning. So I understand that we need to sort of limit our food intake after a certain hours. But what if it is at 1 o'clock I am watching a binge series? Is there something that I can substitute and not
In
be as
that case,
damaging?
I think what you should limit is consumption of any kind of grains and any
Okay.
kind of salty food. So
Okay.
maybe milk or a fruit yogurt or a fruit or nuts or a handful of peanuts are a good idea to munch at night if you have that appetite, if you tend to be hungry.
Yeah.
But yes, you should avoid heavier foods, foods that take longer to digest,
Hmm.
like any kind of cooked food, say any kind of grain like rice, pasta, roti, breads. These need to be
So
avoided.
the leftover pasta that I had in the night, I can't have it at 2 in the morning.
I think a better idea would be to let it be left over for another few hours and have it as breakfast the next morning rather than late night fast.
Right.
Just go for a cup of milk or a hot chocolate or things like these at night.
Right. Right. And are there any superfoods, Mansi, that you can suggest to bring back our sleep patterns? Because we are all locked down inside our homes and we are not exposed to sunlight. I know that melatonin, which is naturally produced in our body, is not getting produced anymore, or in those quantities at least. So, are there any food that can boost up?
Melatonin will be produced in the presence of sunlight. So you need to, while we constantly are popping vitamin D supplements,
Right.
we think only from vitamin D point of view. You
Right.
also need to be in the sun for at least 25-30 minutes a day for your melatonin production to begin, for your body to understand that yes, it's daytime. I need to produce melatonin to
Right.
help regulate your sleeping patterns.
Right.
You can include herbs like ashwagandha and brahmi. These are excellent herbs. Herbal supplements are comparatively much lower on side effects as compared to chemical compounds. So ashwagandha has a unique property. It makes you active during the day and it helps you sleep better. It ensures calmer sleep. Your quality of sleep improves when you have that.
Right.
So maybe having it just before dinner,
Yeah.
having dinner at 9 p.m. types, or just after dinner if you are having dinner around 8,
Yeah.
2-3 hours before you want to sleep, you can take an ashwagandha supplement.
Right.
That's going to work very well.
Hmm.
Another fantastic herb is saffron. It's available worldwide. People
Yeah.
know how even the West is waking up to these Indian herbs and spices.
Yes.
So saffron has excellent calming properties. Saffron helps you sleep better. That is why you would see initially our ancestors used to have haldi and kesar wala milk at night because
That's
saffron
right.
helps you sleep
Well,
better.
it is now being sold in Starbucks as the turmeric latte, and these fancy names that
Yes,
they've
yes,
been
the
given
West
now.
is adapting turmeric latte, which we called our haldi doodh since
Right.
ages. So
Right.
haldi and kesar can help you sleep better. In fact, kesar works two ways. It also helps you calm frayed nerves. So any kind of anxiety,
So that
depression.
answers the third pillar that has
Yes,
been
yes,
re-raised.
kesar can work on that. Saffron works excellently with your anxiety and depression levels. It is a mood enhancer, so
Right.
it helps you calm down. In fact, people who are on antidepressants, if they've been taking ashwagandha and saffron, they've been successfully weaned off the pills, the antidepressant pills.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
The third thing that you can do, like you were asking me about the foods that you can do at night. So milk. Why we say milk? There is a practice when our earlier grandparents and all used to have milk regularly at night because
Right.
milk has tryptophan. Tryptophan is a chemical, a neurotransmitter that produces serotonin. It helps you sleep better.
Okay.
Cashews are excellent source of tryptophan. So just
Right.
3 4 cashews with a half a cup of milk
Right.
can be excellent nightcap. But they
Wow.
need to be done 2 hours before you want to sleep
So
so
that
that
the
they can
body
work
can
on
process
your
it.
system and give the effect. You can't be having them at 3 a.m. to sleep at 5 a.m.
Right. What about people who are lactose intolerant? We know a lot of our friends, especially in the today's day and age, a lot of people are lactose intolerant. Are there any supplements from like dairy that we can use in terms?
Yes, I think in India also lactose-free milk is easily available now. I think abroad too they have versions, or you can always go for nut milks. You can go for soy milk, almond milk.
So does that also produce the same amount of serotonin in our body as the
No,
dairy?
in that case you can add the haldi, the saffron, the turmeric, the saffron, and the cashews to get your tryptophan
Okay. So to
and
enhance.
use those
Okay.
calming properties.
Right. Right.
But if you can tolerate normal milk well, or even the lactose-free milk well, that is even a better option.
Right, right. I'll bring to the last major element of our discussion, which is mental illness. Now, we've spoken about the foods that can enhance our mood. But how about the stress that we faced in the last 1 year? Are there any specific food that we can incorporate in our bodies that can enhance our mood?
Yes, I think Tivo, when I was talking about
Yeah,
ashwagandha and saffron both have calming properties. They
yeah.
can help one calm down. Another miracle mineral that can help immensely because constantly people have been focusing on zinc, on vitamin
Yes,
C.
because of the immunity. Yeah.
Yes. And what has happened? There's been a rise in lifestyle diseases.
Yes.
So one miracle mineral that can help is magnesium.
Right.
Magnesium supplements.
Yeah.
Magnesium can help you sleep better. Magnesium can boost your gut function. Magnesium is known as the happy mineral. You will smile when you have magnesium. And fourth, it can also boost heart health, high blood pressure, diabetes. It's helpful in all these lifestyle diseases which were induced because
Right.
of a bad lifestyle. So again, you can choose whether you want to go for a supplementation thing,
Yeah.
which is in the form of a pill,
Right.
or the natural sources can be all your seeds and nuts. That is why I was talking that you should include nuts and seeds as part of your
That's
balance.
right.
One big surprise that you will know is dark chocolate is an excellent source of magnesium. So
Okay.
people who love chocolate can actually make a switch from chocolate to dark chocolate. It can also be added to your milk at night to give you a hot chocolate kind of feel.
And can help me with that 2 a.m. hunger pang.
Yes, in fact, when you know that you people get chocolate cravings, they
Yes,
crave chocolate.
I am
That
one
means
of them.
that means your body is asking for magnesium. It's like
Magnesium.
yes,
Amazing. That's amazing. We
things
didn't
like
know this.
sunflower seeds, dark chocolate, sesame seeds. These are excellent sources of magnesium, and they can be part of your daily diet. These
Right.
these seeds can be an excellent snack, maybe at 4 p.m. or even 1 a.m.
That's amazing. There's so much that is there for us to practice, but let me just bring everything back together. So one of the major miracle mineral that you've spoken about is magnesium. I think our audiences are going to be absolutely thrilled to know that they can find
In fact,
magnesium.
I'll also add in here that when we talk of exercise, remember the countries are opening up now, the lockdowns are opening.
Yes.
So what happens when you resume exercise? Magnesium is an excellent muscle relaxer also. If
Right,
you
right.
have a
Because I
twitch or a muscle pull or something, do a magnesium supplement, you will feel better immediately.
that's
And a
amazing.
wonderful thing I want to share here is magnesium is one mineral which is absorbed through your skin also. So if you've heard of something known as Epsom salt,
Yes, yeah.
form of magnesium, why you're asked to dip your feet and hands in warm water with Epsom salt because your skin is absorbing magnesium that time, and magnesium soothes nerves and muscles. That's why you feel better. So
That's
even
amazing.
when we resume exercise after the long lockdown that people have experienced, this supplement should be added to their lives.
That's great. So thank you, Mansi. I think our audiences are going to be thrilled to know all these little tidbits that they can find in their home pantry, and they can bring back their health into 2021, and they can step into 2021 with a great health, a great plan to sort of bring back the pillars of wellness into their lives. Thank you so much, Mansi.
My pleasure, Tivo. It was great talking to you and being a part of the Bulletin Box. And I really look forward to many more podcasts with you.
Yes, and we want you back. So, guys, Mansi is going to be back with us for the next episode of NutriTalk with Mansi. And in our next episode, we are going to be talking about post-COVID issues and how to sort of go about creating a more conducive environment into dealing with post-COVID issues. Right? Great. Thank you, Mansi. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you, Tivo. Thank you so much.